again with another one. So the Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, quarterback of the Texans for about 4 years now, has been accused recently of sexual assault. Okay, I wanted to bring this to you all's attention, make a few quick comments and observations about it. First things first, go ahead and press the like button. You can watch the entire video and leave a like at the end. Press subscribe and even click the bell so you can get the notifications. By pressing the like button, you do help the algorithms in the video to circulate on YouTube, so it's greatly appreciated. Deshaun Watson, now, American quarterback of the Houston Texans football team, the professional football team. He's drafted in the first round of 2017, if my memory serves me correctly. A lot of individual success over these 4 years that he's been the quarterback of the Texans. I want to say he's been Pro Bowl, selected to the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl is considered the best of the best players. Been selected to the Pro Bowl all of his years, at least 3 of the 4 years. He led the league this past year, 2020, in passing yards. So, again, suffice it to say, he's one of the best quarterbacks. Allegations, these sexual assault allegations, came on this past Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Now, up to date, there's a total of about 22 of these civil suits and sexual assault allegations against him. All of them come from massage therapists and women who are in, the therapy field, right? The sports fitness, physical fitness, that field. All of the allegations come from therapists in that field, those type of professionals. That's the first thing. They're all, secondly, being represented by the same attorney, this guy, Tony Busby. Anthony Busby, is his official government name, but he goes by Tony Busby. He's an attorney. This is where Houston, Texas, it stands now. To date, since the first allegation that came on this past Tuesday, right? Which, in all of these allegations now, the victims are claiming things like, a lot of inappropriate stuff. They're saying that he touched them, with members of his body, that he spoke aggressively to them in an aggressive manner, to coerce them. Doesn't say he forced, but to coerce them to touch him in certain places, things like that. That the most, I think the most heinous allegation is that they say he forced one massage therapist to perform oral sex on him, and that another therapist, he forced him to touch his groin, essentially, and so things like that. No rape allegations, no, nothing that, a sexual assault allegation is a sexual assault allegation regardless. So whether it's rape or not, still it should be taken seriously. Now, a couple things and a couple observations about this. For one, I'm always skeptical, and first of all, let me say, I hope he's innocent. I hope all of this is true. He's denying these allegations. He says in his a quote by himself that he's never treated with women with anything but the utmost respect. I did some background research on Deshaun Watson humble beginnings, essentially. I watched several of his interviews, looked up some information about him. This is a young man whose mother, at the age when he was about 13, 14, 15, his mother had tongue cancer. Okay, and so, she had to go through intense therapy and things like that, missed a lot of time away from her family for that. He had 3 brothers and sisters other than himself, so he had to step up to the plate and, kind of grow up quickly, which, is something that I can relate to. But so I felt that part of his story. But his mom, I think he said like 1 year out of the 365 days of the year, he saw her maybe twice because of all the rehab and the different things that she was doing. He had to take care of his as the oldest sibling. He had to step up and take care of his siblings, his younger siblings. He had to do things like drive them to and from school for appointments and things like that. And at the time, he only had a permit, so he wasn't supposed to even be driving a vehicle, right? Just all these things, that you see he had to do as a young man and growing up before his time. And by no means is that an indication that he's of his innocence. Am I, saying that proves that he didn't do these things? I'm just saying that to make a point that, here's a young man who It's not your typical young man, especially what we would imagine as
Right.
your collegiate
So
athlete. Another thing as well is that these allegations didn't come about until um, recently, but the precedent of what a lot of folks believe was set there for these allegations to, or created an environment for these allegations to come forward was earlier in this season. I'm not sure how much earlier, but apparently at some point Deshaun Watson requested a trade because, to my understanding, the Texans were like 4-12 this year, which is an abysmal record. So of course, he's not going to want to stay there. He's been with the team since again for 4 years, since 2017 when they drafted him in the first round. I'm sure this this team, the Texans and their owners, I'm sure they're of the mindset, at least even partially. They probably wouldn't admit it publicly, but I'm sure they're of the mindset. Establish you, we drafted you. Look at all this work that we put in. So I'm sure they have a vested, obviously they have a vested interest, but I'm sure they're not going to want to let them go. I mean, we're talking about rich white billionaires. You feel what I'm saying? So that's a part of it as well. And so, you have a lot of people who just let's call it what it is. They think that this is that the Texans particularly are trying to sabotage this young man in his career. And I would have to say, Deshaun Watson said as well, was that upon his first, I don't know if you would call it introduction, meeting, discussion, whatever, with this attorney Tony Busby, who's representing all of these 19 to 22 women who are making these allegations. Deshaun Watson claims that upon first talking to the lawyer made a baseless 6-figure settlement offer. Like, yo, we can get this out the way, just settle for this money real quick. And Deshaun Watson, of course, I mean, I'm not gonna say of course, but he turned it down, as I think any innocent person in this situation should do. Especially us young black men, young brothers out there. If you're watching this and you're a young brother, learn. You can several. There's several black things. Black woman, you have to own your own. I won't necessarily say industry, but have something that you own for self. Whether it's just investing, whether it's a business. If you have a plan, it's not too late to continue your plan. Keep money for you, aside from working a job, a 9-to-5 job, or just the old school traditional ways of making money. You know what I mean? Sitting money in a savings account, letting it accrue, bare amount of interest, bare minimum amount of interest, and things like that. Just making the point that black men and black women, you see as in the example of Deshaun Watson in the case of the NFL, right? Again, and this is all alleged because we don't know if the NFL's behind this. I'm assuming as much because, I mean, just look at it what it is. They're trying to hang him out to dry. He doesn't want to be with the team anymore. They say, okay, we got something for you. Watch this, right? It's the same thing, and this is why you have to take a look at, celebrity cases and high-profile cases where, a bunch of women just come out the woodwork and claim sexual assault or rape. And these executives, they have connections and they can make things happen. They can make things happen. And they have ties and connections to where they can call in favors, right? This is how the real world works. And if you're not aware of this, then I'm sorry, you're just not really for context as well. The owner of the Houston Texans is Bob McNair. Bob McNair is the same cat that back in 2018, when the NFL owners, league executives, player reps, representatives, and the commissioner, they all met in 2018 to discuss the protesting of the flag, kneeling against the flag and protest against racial injustice at the time of 2018. I forget which killing or shooting it was around. But Bob McNair is the same dude who during that meeting made the statement that they can't have the inmates running the prison. Now, he apologized later came back and said he regretted apologizing because he had nothing to apologize for. He said that it was in business. He said it's a statement that's used. Believe what you want to believe. Y'all gonna believe what you want to believe either way, right? I'm not here to tell you what to believe. Just here to help you think in maybe a different way. To think critically, and to view things from a possible angle and perspective that you may not possibly have seen before. So sometimes it's not always in the things that people don't say. Sometimes it is these old white billionaires, right, who are used to being a part of the power structure, and you know what I mean, a part of the oligarchy. So, if anyone gets the chance, you should read the book $40 Million Slaves by William C. Roden. He basically lays out the case, all the evidence for and reasons why professional athletes in this country are essentially, it's just glorified slavery. It's essentially nothing more than that. It's a very poignant and astute observation that's laid out with supported by details and factual information as well. So y'all should check that book out. And again, I say that to continue to make the point that athletes are essentially the new gods, right? Athletes and celebrities are the new gods, and it's nothing new under the sun, right? It's idolatry, just put in a different form. But anyway, I'm straying off topic. The point though is that black men, be careful. Men, period, be careful, but especially black men, be careful. I mean, this is the Me Too era and the Me Too time, right? So you see that even as you can't even get massage therapy and necessarily be safe. So just have your head on a swivel, men, fellas, have your head on a swivel at all times. Always be aware of your surroundings. And, when it comes to women, you just got to be careful, man. You just really got to be careful, because at any time they can flip that switch, and the psychological manipulation or even just flat out, exploitation can ensue. So, there's that. Ownership. Black people own something. You don't want to be in a situation, again, like I do believe Watson. He's innocent. I hope he's innocent. I hope all this turns out to be, to work in his favor. And I hope it comes out that all these women were lying, and that this was, you can't get your coins independently as much as you can. Invest in something so that way you can have something that no one can take away from you, not even this white power structure at the end of the day. You feel me? Two, men, be careful. Careful with women. We live in a day and age of time where it's a gynocentric society. So, the feminine imperative is what's going to prevail most of the time. So as a man, you got to be conscientious of that. And lastly, for a lot of us black folks, a lot of y'all black folks as well, if this wasn't yet another thing that should wake you up and help you to see and understand not only the times that we're living in, but the type of occupation, and yes, I would use that word, type of occupation that black people are living under, then I don't know what's going to help wake you up and see that. Again, I know a lot of this can be scary. I know the wool has been pulled over your eyes. I know Stockholm syndrome is very real, and let's face it, we had to come up in this society. So, the deception, a lot of times things can be right in your face and you not see it or understand it for what it is when it's been right there the whole time. So I get that aspect of it as well. And the last thing I'll say is, if you're a white person that watch this, that's watching this, or, if you're somebody who knows me, and you watching this, I bang with you. I know a lot of cool white folks, but at the same time, you also know what I am not going to do is turn a blind eye to something or act like something is not there. So, and I would also say that if you're white and watching this and you have quote unquote black friends and they don't tell you the truth, they don't tell you the reality about what's going on with white and black people, they're not really your friends. That's just my personal opinion. So, it is what it is. Tell me what y'all think. Be more than happy to hear your perspectives. Leave comments, comment, subscribe. If you want to get in touch with me, email will be down below. And until next time.